Hi everyone, and welcome to another video in our tarot series for the magiccabin.com. Apologize for not being with you guys last week. Had my daughter's graduation. Last one. Now I'll become an empty nester and more time to do this. Woohoo! So we already went through the major arcana and the minor arcana, and now we're going to start with the four suits that consist of 56 cards. Now there's 14 in each suit, and the suits are the swords, cups, coins, or otherwise known as pentacles, and then the wands. Now each suit has 10 cards, ace through 10, and 4 court cards, and that'd be the page through the queen. Or king, I'm sorry. It's page, knight, queen, and king. Now, the function of the minor arcana is to describe the everyday world. Remember, the major arcana explored the person's soul, while the minor arcana describes more about your environment and society. So let's dive into the swords on this episode. Now, these things here, they represent a lot of like strength and power. Along with those things would come like nobility, your ability to do things, tendencies, but mostly the forces that work against you. Now, they come to show the power and forces of hatred and violence as well. This suit of cards shows your enemies or anything or anyone who wants to harm you or even control you, and these are usually done for personal gains or personal reasons. Now, we're going to start with the Ace of Swords. This card here, represents triumph and great success. It's also for great prosperity and fertility. Now, this can pertain to your life, such as like your professions or love, money, or just pretty much whatever you're involved in. It means that all goals will be achieved. Now, when you're doing a reading, remember we've been talking about the upright position and the reverse position. The upright is like this, and remember reversed is if it's upside down, okay? So we're always going to keep these in the upright positions. Let's see if I can get this thing squared off here for you. There we go. Now, in the upright position, this would mean like prosperity, conquest, and fertility. And that can mean the birth of a child or an idea, and either one that pays off, meaning it's something that makes you happy. It's a great amount of power. You'll be able to do now what you've been wanting to do, and you're riding high. Let's just say that. Now, reversed, remember upside down position, it means all the same as what we just talked about, but it actually has a bad ending. Now, if it was upright, it means everything's great. It has happy endings. If it's reversed, it means all the same things. It means that you're going to have, great success, power, love, money, anything you're involved in, whatever, but it'll have a bad ending. It also stands for the beginning of tense relations and emotional conflicts with others. And sometimes this can be even with yourself, okay? Now, the next one is the Two of Swords. Now, this card stands for friendships and unions. When you think of two, you think of pairs. It can also stand for an alliance with others to achieve a common goal. Now, when it's in the upright position, it means things like friendships and unions. It also means courage, harmony, and can even mean intimacy. Now, oppositions of any kind are going to be short-lived. They'll have very little impact on your life or your goals. Now, in the reversed, the upside down, it would actually mean more like deceit, loyalty, falsehoods, disorder, chaos. But it'll also mean, though, there's going to be an imposter close by. It can stand for lies, dishonor, treachery, those kinds of things. Okay, now we're going to move to number 3. There we go. Now that means the dissolution of alliances. It means severing or separating. See how that sword is cutting the top off? All this is due to quarrels of some kind, like arguments and petty stuff. Now, if it's in the upright position, it'll stand for separation, removal, infidelity, divorce, and it will all be it's all not going to be done very amicably. You should actually expect quarrels, anger, sometimes even hatred. Now, this can be both for personal and or professional parts of your life, so just remember that too. It doesn't always have to just do with the personal side. Now, reversed, it stands for confusion, mental disorders, distractions in the mind. This is a time where you maybe find yourself making a lot of errors. You're going to have a difficult time making decisions too, because you're going to be lacking some clarity. Just keep your head clear, or you're going to stand to lose more than you should, okay? So let's move on to number 4. Now, the 4 of Swords, this can stand for contemplation and vigilance that's needed, but it's also for a period of recuperation. See how they're kind of hiding? You have much to do in order to work out your problems, but you're going to have to do this alone. You need to find time to do it too. Don't go avoiding it or anything. This represents kind of like a hermit retreat and some time for recuperation from, it can be anything, situations or events that just happened that you went through. Now, in the upright position, it stands for solitude and quietness, kind of like an exile or retreat. You need to carefully plan and think during this time, and make sure to use caution and precaution, okay? Now, reversed, it stands for greed. You can have bad dreams. You can have an illness or a sickness come up, or even a temporary financial problem. It can also stand for, though, envy and petty behavior. And it can either be on your own part or that of others, but that's most common with this card. Now, number 5. Let's see, there we go. 5 of Swords, this card stands for defeat of your plans and great loss, ruin, or misfortune. Now, in the upright position, it stands for things like sorrow and mourning from like tragic situations. It can cause you to be destructive, cause dishonor, and loss can be in store for you. This can also stand for possible hidden dangers as well as those you can see. It's those hidden ones that can do more damage. It usually is indication of discouragement and defeat. Now, reversed, it's the exact same as what I just read, but your enemy had been overcome for a short time, but they're winning right now. Okay? So let's move on to number 6. Oh, it's like looking into a mirror with this. Okay, 6 of Swords indicates journey of a visit or message. Now, you're slowly moving out of a bad situation of some kind. And in some cases, this can also indicate a proposal of some kind too, either personal or professional. Maybe you're looking at getting a promotion or something, but you don't know about it because it's going to be a surprise. Now, this card also can indicate travel, and it usually involves being somewhere around water. Now, in the upright position, it stands for a journey without any specific destination in mind yet. It can also stand for messages received, an escape, or a reprieve of some kind. Sometimes this card also brings luck too, despite failures that have been going on or like in the past, that feeling of bad luck that you just can't snap out of. Believe me, this card shows that you're going to have luck despite all of that. However, if it's in a reversed position, it's going to be a confession or declaration of some kind being made. But get this, it once again states perhaps a proposal of love or commitment of some kind. But again, it's going to surprise you or shock you. Okay? Maybe it's coming from someone you don't expect. You never know. It would depend on the other surrounding cards and whatever layout you're doing. Okay, 7. Now the 7 of Swords. This card stands for hope and renewed confidence. Now the worst may be over, but be very careful of overconfidence. Don't try to bluff anything, okay? Now in the upright position, this card stands for hope, confidence, and maybe new attempts at overcoming previous failures. And you might succeed this time. So maybe this is the third time's the charm kind of thing. It also shows good advice or instruction that you can use to fix these things. So maybe there's been someone that you know that's been giving you some great tips, or hey, if you ever had time, let me show you how to do this. I think I figured it out. Go with it because it's going to go in the right direction. However, reversed, it actually means things like slander, gossip, and it can also mean a plan that fails. There's also annoyances, but remember that overconfidence we talked about before? Well, here if it's reversed, it means that overconfidence is leading to the instability of your plans. So overconfidence needs to be watched for, okay? Now number 8. There we go. Now this card, it warns of unexpected calamities. Now this is a negative and dangerous card. I'm just going to say that once, okay? Write it down if you have to. It also stands for being warned, and it's warning you of potential sickness and injury, taking losses, or even some bad news coming. However, though, it's all temporary. So don't freak out too bad. Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest thing coming, but at least it's not going to stay or last very long. Now, if you heed the warnings, you'll be able to head them off, and you're not going to suffer as a result. So just make sure you check your affairs and without delay, okay? Now, upright, remember we talked about it, sickness, injury, bad news. It could even be a crisis in your affairs. Now, this can be personal or professional, and there's going to be some conflict with it and potential losses. Just be on your guard. Now, reversed, the unexpected opposition from unexpected directions. So, make sure you pay attention and be aware, like it said in the first one. When it's upright or reversed, basically both mean just be on your guard. Now, if it's reversed, it can lead to an accident or fatality of someone you know, or maybe you heard about it in the news, but somewhere around you this is there. And it also, of course, describes uncertainty. So, again, repeating, be on your guard, okay? Now, remember, too, these cards that are seemingly daunting, that's just what the single card itself means. Now, remember, when it's in a layout, it's going to not be so fearful because it could relate to even a decision you're thinking of, where there's a fatality or an end to that decision or plan. So remember, broaden your thinking. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be in an accident or I'm going to die. That accident or fatality, taken in a very broad spectrum, could play on anything, okay? An accident, I dropped my cup and it cracked. I can no longer use it. See? It's not as bad now. Remember, it's just be on your guard with this card. The next one is the 9 of Swords. This one does foretell of death, failure, and utter despair. Okay, this card in most cases is seen as the worst card in the deck. It's devastation, failure, death. That's all the things. I mean, it can even mean illness, loss of money, property, just general unhappiness altogether. It also can stand for bad luck and even just an unrelenting enemy. If you've done something you're not supposed to, by the way, this card also foretells you're going to get caught and punished harshly. So think twice before doing anything that's questionable, okay? Upright, again, it just means death, despair, failures, delays, deceptions, just anything on an evil fate path. Now reversed, like it couldn't get any worse, right? It's shame, it's fear, doubt, suspicions. And there's also going to be an unreliable person that's influencing things you're going through, okay? So be alert with this card. Number 10. Oh, I got this upside down. There we go. Let's make this where you can actually see it, huh? Okay, the 10 of Swords. Now this one foretells sorrow, tears, affliction, disastrous endings. Now upright, it means ruin and misfortune and insecure relationships with friends. Expect that your plans are going to end in failure and that all will be lost. Do you see that picture? It's like getting stabbed in the back 10 times all at once, okay? It's coming from directions and people and things that you wouldn't imagine. So, in a reversed position, it means a possible gain, but only a brief and temporary one. And that any profit and success is going to be short-lived. So, you may seem like things are fine, but just get your ducks in a row and head this off, okay? So if this ever turns up in a reading, don't worry, because you're able to see what it stands for and it's giving you the heads up, okay? That's it. We're going to go ahead and do, in our next video, we're going to do the court cards for the swords, and then we're going to talk about those, and then of course after that we move on to the suit of cups. Until then, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate your guys' support, and please like and subscribe. It really does get these videos out to the people that are really wanting to learn how to do this for themselves or to help others. So until then, you have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time.